All right, so this is going to be a quick little example of how popular media is brainwashing you and or making you think in irrational ways. It's misleading you to think fanciful things that aren't accurate at all or realistic. Here's one very good example. I could find examples for you from pretty much every Disney movie that I've seen. And what is more widespread than Disney? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone, it doesn't matter what your culture, race, economic classes, you've heard of Disney. You have at least seen one Disney movie. More likely seen several. I know personally, as growing up as a lower middle class American girl, I watched all of them. They were considered wholesome and healthy content for children to consume. And my parents were happy to plop me down in front of the television and my sisters in front of the television and or take us out to the movie theaters and have us watch the newest Disney movie that came out or old Disney movies. So here's one of the ending scenes of Mulan. Mulan is about a girl in China. It's based on a true story. The true story, from what I read, ended not quite as nicely. She was supposedly murdered by her comrades in arms once they found out she was a woman. After she had helped save people and after she'd fought the war and the war was over, they went to her home. This is one of the versions of how it likely went down in real life. Pardon me. And upon realizing that she was a woman, supposedly they killed her. So not nice. Or very appreciative either. So anyway, I'm just going to play a really short clip from this video. I'm not even playing this whole video, just the last, I'd say roughly 40 seconds or so of it. And you'll see right here. And I'm going to comment as soon as I finish playing it.
You fight good.
Oh, thank you. Khan, let's go home.
The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. Sir, you don't meet a girl like that every dynasty.
Okay. So, all right. We'll just leave that up, but paused. So right there, what the Emperor just said. So I'm not even going to get into how inaccurate it is the way that they had the story end. I mean, I know this is supposed to be for kids, so they're not going to end it with, and then Mulan was butchered by her fellow soldiers when they found out she was a woman. I know that, obviously. But I'm thinking more specifically, if you guys didn't catch it, and most of you probably didn't. I know my parents didn't catch it because they allowed my sisters and I to keep watching this drivel. But what the Emperor of China just said there was the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all flowers, so on and so forth. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. Think about it for 2 seconds, guys. Let me give you an example. One flower that blooms in adversity is the dandelion. Weeds. Most weeds have flowers, okay? We call them weeds because they're all over the place. It's hard to get rid of them. They bloom in adversity. Dandelions, they will freaking sprout up anywhere, in cracks and crevices in the cement. They'll grow on rooftops. I've seen that. It's ridiculous. You can stomp up and down on a dandelion. That thing will just spring right back up. It doesn't give a shit. And what's more is it's actually quite good for you. Dandelions are very healthy for you. I drink roasted dandelion root tea. You can eat dandelion salads. They're very nutritious, and they help promote your body's natural detoxification system. So they're very good. They're wondrous little plants. We're very lucky that they're so abundant. But they bloom in adversity, and yet they are not rare at all. Whether or not they're beautiful, I think, is a matter of opinion and situational as well. So, for example, the flowers that don't bloom quite as well in adversity would be things like orchids, certain tropical orchids, lilies, some roses. These flowers need more specific circumstances and environment and care in order to do well. And there's not as many of them. So they're the rarer flowers. Roses, orchids, so on and so forth. They are more rare than dandelions. They do not bloom in adversity. They don't do well in adversity. If you stomp up and down on an orchid, it's done. You probably killed it for good. It's not going to spring back just like a dandelion. Okay, neither are a lot of those flowers. As far as I know, are they as healthy for us or nutritional for us as the dandelion? Whether or not they're beautiful compared to the dandelion, again, is a matter of opinion, but it could also be situational. For example, if you're starving to death, you might think that a dandelion looks gorgeous compared to an orchid. I've heard that some orchids can be actually toxic for us. You don't want to eat certain flowers and plants that they can be beautiful and rare, but toxic. So to somebody who's starving to death, they might fall in love with a dandelion compared to something like a rose. So just saying, the Emperor of China is full of shit. Or more accurately, Disney is full of shit. Now, think about this, guys. Really think on it. And think about the amount of time and energy and focus and planning that goes into each one of these movies. These are not just done fly by the seat of your pants. There are hundreds, if not thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands of people brought in to work on these movies, on all aspects of these movies. Disney movies, they're huge productions. They agonize over every little piece, including the script, including what their characters are going to say. There were millions of other phrases they could have had the Emperor say. Instead, they landed on the ultimate phrase that they picked for this big production that they put out that has the voice of Eddie Murphy. What they picked was, the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful flower. It sounds good. It sounds like a little ball of wisdom that's just been delivered to you. But it's not. It's not wise at all. I mean, you can understand what he's getting at. He's trying to tell this dumb lug that, like, yo, that chick's pretty badass. You might want to consider putting a ring on it. But there were better ways for him to say that weren't so inaccurate or unrealistic. I mean, he got right to the point in the end. You know, you don't meet a girl like that every dynasty. But probably because the soldier was like, sir, that doesn't make any sense, you know? And then the Emperor had to be, oh yeah, shit, that doesn't make any sense. All right, well, let's just get right to the point. So keep in mind, Disney, the people who produced this movie for Disney, it's not always going to be the same people across the board for every Disney movie, but a lot of times you're going to have the same people working on a lot of this different Disney movies. So the people who produced this movie for Disney agonized and thought a lot about exactly what every character is going to say in every single moment of this movie. They spoon-fed you that phrase and you accepted it because, well, they designed this whole movie to have you accept stupid crap like that, basically. You're getting caught up in the drama of it. You're caught up in the ebbs and the flows, the ups and downs, the emotional ups and downs. You're invested in the characters. In Mulan, obviously, you want to see what happens to her. You're so caught up in all of that by the time you get to the end, by the time you, like, when you hear these little dumb phrases like this, you just absorb it, and you're not thinking analytically or rationally about whether or not it makes any sense, and whether or not you're being messed with. Your mind is being messed with, or your ability to break stuff down for break content down for its accuracy. You're not thinking about that. You're being caught up in the moment, in the feelings. That's a big technique for brainwashing and influencing people. Is you get people caught up in a moment, in a feeling, in exhilaration, you get their cortisone levels pumping, you get their adrenaline levels pumping, you get their what's the good feeling chemical we have in us? You know what I'm talking about anyway. You get all that going, and they're not thinking too analytically or rationally anymore. So now that they're in that state of mind, now you start spoon feeding them little bits of false information or false ways of thinking about things. So, all right, I'm going to leave it there. I said I would keep this short, but yeah, that's this is just one little example. I might come out with a few more videos, short little videos like this one, pointing out different moments in popular media and content that is just are perfect examples of how you are being lied to and misled. So, all right, let's leave it at that. Emperor of China, my ass. Jeez Louise.